Right, I'm gonna start, and for people who might be slightly late, they can just refer to the recordings. Okay. All right, I'm gonna start with my slide. Oh, sorry. Let me first. Okay. Can you guys see lights? See, make sure that everything's okay. Yes, good, good. All right. So welcome back to Design Thinking course. This is Biba Salas Design Thinking. It's week 3. But who's tracking, right? How are you guys doing? Can I get an honest answer? Who here do not know what is today's date? It's a interesting question. Everybody know what date is today? Can I see some reactions, please? You guys know? I mean, there's a date here. Good. Keeping on track. Good, guys. Why does everybody here knows about the day except for me? I just know that today is Wednesday and I have class on Wednesday. That's it. So kudos, guys. Very good for knowing your dates, which is important. Let me see. Counting the days for freedom. Yes. We're gonna listen to the decision in 2 more days whether or not we're gonna extend the MCO or not. I have no idea. We'll see. So what are we going to do today? Number one, I think that I really need to emphasize this. Um, I've been getting hits and hits of emails, and to be honest, I'm very, very disappointed with you guys. I'm disappointed in your language. I'm disappointed on the way that you structure your email. And I've been thinking, like, I don't know, maybe you guys haven't had your English classes yet. So I'm just doing my part of teaching you just a bit of intro on how to send a good and professional email in a very polite way, which is essential not only in for academic purposes, sending an email to staff, sending an email to your lecturer, but also for your future in a way that in your workforce is very, very vital. It's very, very important for you to know the right and professional way of sending an email. Some of you guys, I gotta admit, you guys did a very good job in sending an email, but some are really lacking. So I'm just gonna be very general and just, this is a very good reminder for everyone, not just for you guys, but for me as well. Okay. And today as well, I want to talk about your design challenge proposal, which is due next week, which is 1 day before our class. Okay. So every time, every single quizzes or any kind of assignments with me, everything will end at the end of the day, which is 11:59. So you guys shouldn't be confused with anything. But I try my best to remind you guys via Blackboard announcements and yada yada. Okay. So I always like to open my class with a gentle reminder on your assessment, because to be honest, this is why you guys are here. You guys will be assessed on these things, and contributions that contribute to your learning, obviously. So for individual, I know that some of you guys are doing very, very good with your group. You've been doing your group wiki, good job, but do not forget your quizzes. Now, here is a thing that I don't say, but it's actually there. So I actually open all of your 7 quizzes until the end of week 7. So if you guys miss out quiz 1 or quiz 2 or quiz 3, I actually do not close it. But bear in mind, there are certain number of attempts. So if you have exceeded your second attempt, I cannot open back for you. All right, but I will give you ample of time throughout the time, but I put it in my weekly lesson plan, simply because I do not want you guys to forget. Lots of cases of people who forget about their quizzes, therefore I put it as a weekly task. Okay, but if you feel like you only done once and you want to have another attempt and you want to improve your marks, you can do so. It's all open up until week 7. All right, so that's the thing. So when it comes to your group work, there are three things. The first one will due next week, which is your research report. That is only 10%, guys. Then, which has the most marks, which is the group wiki. Group wiki is 40%. Every single thing that I ask you guys to do every single week, everything has marks. Okay, so make sure that you do exactly what I ask you guys to do, because I will be your first evaluator in a way that I will give you guys marks based on the rubrics. But at the end of the semester, we're going to have another lecture to call and evaluate you guys. It's very, very important for you to follow the minimum guidelines that I give you. If you can do more than what I ask you to do, very good. Well, then you might get extra marks. Okay, so it's very important for you to follow exactly what I ask you guys to do, because another lecturer will come in and check my marks to see if there is any consistency in my marking. All right, to ensure that I mark you guys with a full justice in a way. Okay, so another lecturer will be coming in and checking your marks. So if you guys don't do what I ask you to do, definitely that lecturer will know, and perhaps that lecturer will ask me to lower down your marks because you did not do it. Okay, so another last one would be group pitching, which is 20%. This is when you guys present your idea, present your challenge to me and maybe two more other lecturers. I will be giving you guys a much more detailed instructions later throughout the end of the semester, because that will be your last assignment, your last assessment. Okay, altogether it constitutes 200%. Hence, there is no final exam. All right. So as I mentioned, this is the weekly lesson plan that I give you guys, just so that you know that if you guys are on track or not. Okay. So today in week 3, we are doing phase 2 and also phase 3, which is on define and develop. So for your quiz 4 is about brainstorming. It's very, very important for you to look at the videos that is posted in that respective week. Okay, and make sure that you memorize or you understand everything that has been said before you start doing your quiz. And next week as well, it will be your first assignment, first research report, that is due on Tuesday 11:59 a.m. All right, not to forget, you also have to do your page 3, define and develop. Now let's see, as I mentioned, I want to briefly touch on email, because I feel like this is very, very important, guys. You have no idea how important this is. And most importantly, I don't want you guys to go outside when you start, working, or even right now when people know that you guys are INTI students and you carry the name of INTI, and people say, oh my god, your communication skills is really, really low. So I don't want that to happen. Therefore, please take this as a very, very gentle reminder on how to write a professional and polite email. Okay, right. So when it comes to email, there is a certain etiquette that you have to know. Make sure it's very, very important that you write your email in the most formal language possible. When I say formal, it means it's academic. It does not have smiley. It does not have anything that could distract you from writing the actual email itself. It has to be clear, coherent, concise, courteous, polite, professional, appropriate. This is a bit of linguistics. Try to use active instead of passive, because when you use active voice, you are trying to concentrate on the subject instead of the object itself. It's a bit linguistics. I'm not going to go into it. Try to make it as positive as possible. Now, this is something that is very lacking, in a way that the person who's reading your email, will read it as if it's a negative evaluation or a personal attack coming from you. Remember, when it comes to communication, even though that it's a complaint, you have to write in a very, very polite and courteous, and there are always ways for it, because at the end of the day, the outcome that you want from that communication is basically to get your message across, and you don't want to offend anybody. All right. Lastly, it should be accurate on no errors. Now, let me tell you a little bit, just a reminder. Again, this is not just for you guys, this is also to remind myself on how, and I would try and reflect my, way of writing emails. Okay. So, firstly, I think a lot of students did not introduce themselves. Now, this is very, very important because, for example, if you are emailing your lecturer, not just me, to anybody else, people will go back and say, who teach this person English? They were coming to us and say, you did not teach your students English, because I am from English background and I also teach English courses. Therefore, I really, really do emphasize when it comes to etiquette and also politeness and also language. Okay, I don't want people to blame our department simply because you guys haven't, taken your English course, or maybe you're not interested in English course, but politeness is the best way to represent yourself. Okay, the first one is try to introduce yourself regardless if you think that your lecturer knows you. Always introduce yourself. Do not assume that people know who you are, especially lecturers. To me personally, I teach 5 different courses this semester. I wouldn't even know who you guys are. I'm so sorry. I might know your faces, I might know your name, but I might get confused. One class might have 50 to 60 people. There's a lot of students. Please introduce yourself. Second is when you use a lot of exclamation point. This is very scary, guys. You might think that nobody did this, but to be honest, there are people who's doing this. Okay? And I don't want you guys to do it because it will seem very, very childish and unprofessional. Thirdly, please avoid emailing on weekend. Maybe some of you guys have started working in a professional domain. Some of you guys don't. Some of you guys might work in a private sector. Some of you guys might work in a government sector. It might differ accordingly. But please remember, people have their own office time. Okay? Avoid emailing on a weekend and expecting to get a reply immediately on a weekend. Okay? The best time for you to email is within the office hour, which is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, I will give you guys a bit of leeway, a bit of, extension, because I understand a lot of you guys are working. Therefore, I accept if you want to email anytime during the weekdays, but not weekend. Okay? Next, please try to respond or wait for a response in a timely fashion. Now, normally the etiquette is that for you to respond, if you got an email, or even if you are waiting for somebody to respond to you, the best time, the great time is should be within 24 to 48 hours. Now, if it goes or exceeds 2 days, it's possible that that person missed out your email. Hence, you might want to try and reply back. I'm so sorry. I have asked you about this. Blah blah blah. Politeness. Okay. So please wait from 24 to 48 hours. Do not expect people to immediately reply to you. You have no idea what's going on to someone else's inbox. Okay? Next. It's also very important when you got what you want. When we reply to you, you do not respond back in a way that you have read or understood the message. This is very, very important, guys. Now, you would be dying to receive or, getting a response from your lecturer. But once your lecturer has given the feedback or even, things on what you have to do, you guys don't reply us back. It could be something very, very simple as noted thank you or thank you for the information, one line to indicate that you have read the email and you understood the message. This is very, very important because we need to know if you guys have understood, if we have answered your question. All right. Lastly, try to avoid short forms. Thank God nobody uses this, but some of my diploma students did this. Okay. For you, great. Thank you. These are definitely unacceptable. All right, now I'm gonna jump right into this and pretend that you guys are in my English class because I was so disappointed with you guys Maybe because I thought you guys would do better, because I assumed a lot of you guys have started working and you would know the right way to email a person. But unfortunately, that's not the case. I'm gonna go and give you an example. Bear with me. So the first one is a subject. When it comes to a subject, do not capitalize all of your subject. It would seem that you are very mad, and people who's receiving or reading your email would have a negative, perception about your email. Okay, a subject should basically summarize or hint about what is it that you want to write. Basically, a subject is your objective. I'm going to talk more about objective in your introduction. Salutation, dear who, da 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 da. So some of students, yeah, trust me, they don't do this. Immediately, I don't see my blah blah blah. Where is blah blah blah? Surprisingly as it might sound, but there are still people who do not do this. This is very, very important, guys. Again, just a reminder. I'm not pointing out at, certain people. I want everybody to benefit from this, not only you guys, but for me as well. So first, in the first paragraph, always, as I mentioned, introduce yourself, your name, your matric number, your student ID, which course are you from, and why are you writing this email. Now, this why are you writing this email could be something that is similar to your subject. Foreshadowing, just enough information, but not too detailed. You can write all of the details in the next paragraph. Let's jump into closing. So closing can be as simple as I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you. Or you can say something, to indicate politeness, like thank you for your kind assistance or consideration. Your cooperation, help, consideration is much appreciated. Best regards, your name, student ID again, and also your your program. Okay, so again, this is very, very important, guys. I really feel like this is something that you guys have to learn, and it's fine, everybody makes mistakes, but I just hope, because I have introduced you guys, or I have taught you guys on this, I hope that you guys can learn and progress better after this. Okay. All right, so just please try and practice this very, very important email etiquette. And I can assure you, if you do or if you write the right and polite email, I think that it is better for you guys in a way that your message get across and you wouldn't form an enemy. Basically, it's very, very important, not just in academic line but also in your workplace. Okay, let's see, is there any questions? All right. uh Now I feel like an old lady trying to remind you guys. Okay, but this is very important. Okay, this is not just for you guys but also for me as a reminder when I write email as well. Okay. All right. Okay. Now let's get into why we're here. We want to talk about design challenge because this is 10% of your marks. So when it comes to the group research report, it's 10%. You guys only have to give me your research report. You do not have to present to me. Now I have, before you finalize your idea, I ask you guys to pitch your idea in front of me, right? Maybe some of you guys do not know, but one of the ways is because I want to listen on how you can convince to me your ideas. A lot of you guys are still shy. I do not blame you guys because it's just the beginning of the semester and you just don't feel like you want to open up a little bit. That is why I feel that you guys are still not yet ready to pitch your idea. Hence, for this report research, you only have to give me your report. I will not evaluate your presentation skills yet. Okay, presentation skills, I will take note and I will do it at the end of the semester in your pitch. That is 20%. Okay, so for your group research report, first you have to download a template in week 2's folder. Let's open our Blackboard. Okay, this is your Blackboard. This is week 2. All right. Now, let's see, where is it? Yes, this one. So you download this. Okay, download this. All right. Then you have to do number one, identify a design challenge, which is the one that you did just now. Number two, you have to start designing your survey, your interview questions, which is on your primary research. Then the most important thing is for you to report on your secondary research. Basically, what it means that what have you found out about your topic? Okay. Now, once you're done, okay, once you're done, finish with the design template. Okay, one person only one representative from each group. I have 8 groups. I want only 8 design challenge reports. Okay, only 8. One person, one representative from each group will upload in week 3's folder before 14th of April, Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. Okay, this should be available in week 3. Just so that it's clear, I'm gonna show you guys. So this is week 2. Go to week 3. Only one person, yeah. Right, click here. Browse computer, submit. All right, easy. Okay, so that is how you submit your report. Again, only one person from each group will upload it. All right, now let's see how I am going to mark your report. When it comes to organization, organization comes in handy with your language, which how you link between your ideas. That is 10% only. Now, I have to say to you guys, it's very important to organize your thought, especially in design thinking course. That is why we still wanna, make it as a part of this rubrics, because we think that it's very, very important. Secondly, we want to look at your design challenge or the problem. Third, we will evaluate 20% of everything else, if of this 10%, 20% in your survey or interview questions. Okay, next is for your secondary research, which is the most marks, 40%, ladies and gentlemen, 40%. I have asked you guys to start reading about your secondary research from last week. I'm hoping to see more things coming out. Okay. Lastly, when it comes to summary of key findings, which include contact, method, current solution, and also gap, that is 20%. All right. Okay. Now, so as I mentioned just now, I taught you guys on how to download this design challenge proposal. Okay. Now I'm going to show you in detail. I'm going to open my design challenge now, and I'm going to give you an example on how you can do it, just so that everybody is on the right page. Okay. So here, now this is something that you should see for your own. Yeah. Okay. Right. Oh, still the same. What else? All right, so this is your design challenge. This is the template that you have to follow. Write your name. For design challenge, if you have a special name, which I highly recommend you to create one, okay? Based on your solution, try to create one name for you. Now here, my very famous example would be my zero waste pet food, which is the example that I'm going to teach you guys today based on this example. Okay, this is just an example. It's not a real one. Right, first, let's take a look at your primary research. Now here, there are certain questions, but I get it. Some of you guys still do not understand, which is why I'm doing this one by one. Okay, so first, we have target users. Who are the people who you think will benefit or who will eventually use this service or buy this product? Okay, for example, for my zero waste pet food, I feel, and you can list as many people as you can. Maybe hobbyists, maybe, homeless people, maybe, government servant, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. You be creative and you put everything there. So to me, the target users that will use or buy my zero waste pet food would be pet lovers, busy working adults, environmentalists. Okay, so this is, even though I wrote here three, does not mean that it's three. It depends on you. I want to see how detailed you are in thinking about who could be your possible customers. Got it? Next, stakeholders. Stakeholders are people who are directly or indirectly involved from your project, from your challenge. So, for example, part of the steps or process that is involved in zero waste pet food, because for these projects, I want to get these stray animals to have a shelter. I want to build a shelter. So to do that, just if the Majlis Perbandaran, for example, the Majlis Perbandaran would like to found any stray animals, they would help me directly in a way that they would take those animals and put it at our shelter. So I need their help, or they are indirectly involved with my project. So basically, to think about it, I also need some communication between my organization also with that person or that organization. Get it? Got it? So it does not necessarily, government. It could be parents. It could be, students. I don't know. So try to list out as many possible organizations that might need to work with you for this project. Okay? Next, uh, next is who are the familiar ones with this design area or research. So basically what it means that who are the experts that should be involved in this project. Now here, this is also part of organization. Now, if you look at the template before, I don't put any table. But because I feel that my message will get even better, understanding if I put a table, because I want to put some designation and what are their function, what I need them to do. And this is also contributing to your marks. If you feel like you have a better organization rather than putting a table, please go ahead and do so. Use your own creativity. This is just my way of doing it. Okay, so the experts that should be involved that I need my help into for this project could be vet, could be some designers, could be marketing and advertising, workers, blah, 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 blah. The list go on and on and on. Now, these experts are very, very important because I will talk to you guys maybe next week or in week 5. I'm not sure. I'm going to talk about business model canvas. Now, these experts are really, really important because it's going to contribute to your profit, to your salary, blah, 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 blah. And we're going to talk about it later. But for now, you need to list to me who are these people. Got it? Okay. All right. Any questions about primary research? Okay. Let's see. This business canvas, business canvas. Yes, the same. It's the same. But you have to send it, you have to put it in page 2 and also to send the report writing in week 3's folder. Okay? Got it? Miss, do we need to prepare more than one set of questionnaires for target users? Yes, if you feel that it's important, if you feel like these are different respondents and you might need to ask different things, you might have to prepare it. So it's good that if you prepare more, but minimum is 1. Okay, I think I missed out a few questions as well. Do we need to prepare? Oh, the same question, so sorry. Okay, all right, all right. So basically, if you prepare more than 1, we will see that you have more effort, you think this through, and you might gonna get more marks lah. For the research report designing is yes, this template. Yes. Okay, right? Okay, sorry. Any more? Okay, now I want to talk about the interview or survey questions that you guys choose. Now, before I go into this, I want to talk about these two because from these two, then only you can construct this. Okay, see any questions? Can I use World of Buzz? What is World of Buzz? What is World of Buzz before that? Online blog. For what? As part of the research? Okay. Who are the contributors to the blogs? If it's blog, it's not really reliable, to be honest. Okay. Wait, the report is in Word form based on template or just the template alone? What do you mean? So this one, the template was written in Word document. You can edit it. Does it answer your question, Fong? Fong Meng, does it answer? Am I answering your question?
Hi, Miss.
Hi.
Yes. Yeah. So
What do you mean?
my questions was actually because of report, it's usually you start with the introductions and so on. Because just now
Mm-mm-mm.
you also mentioned that at the end we need to summarize all those key points that we have put in. So if we
Mm.
would just only do as according to this template alone, meaning that we
Yes.
just filled up all the necessaries
Yes.
which is in keywords or key or point form, not necessary to be in a full documentations like full report.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about it. Thank you so much, Fong. Fong Meng. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Good
thank
question. I will show you guys in a bit on how to do it, especially in your secondary research. I will talk about it, how you should write. Should it be in point form? Blah blah blah. It should not be in point form. But I will talk more about it in a bit. Okay. Before that, I want to talk about contact and method. Contact is basically how would you get in touch with your customers if they want more information. Now, if you buy cereal, you will find at the box, you will say, contact us. Okay, so it's basically how your communication channel with your customers or consumers. Okay, so it could be maybe a hotline number, it could be like in an email or a contact number. How would you get in touch with your customers? Basically, got it? Easy, right? Very straightforward. Now, I want to talk about method before going into your survey questions. Okay, when it comes to method, it's very, very straightforward. I taught you guys on primary and secondary research. What are some of the methods? It could be in a form of interview, questionnaire, or survey. It could be an observation. It could be an immersive experience, which I doubt it will be. But if you feel like you can, go ahead. Okay, so I also need you guys to tell me how you are going to analyze your findings. This is an example that I give you. Okay, because I will use a survey or a questionnaire, I'm going to use a Likert scale. Okay, I'm going to show you guys Likert scale. How does a Likert scale looks like? Sorry. Okay, so a Likert scale is something that has numbers and it shows a degree to a certain extent. Okay, so sometimes Likert scale can be a form of 1 to 5, 1 to 7, 1 to 10, depending on you. And it could indicate a positive attitudes or less positive attitudes. Okay, and from this, how would you analyze? For example, if the overall means, okay, you have everything here, okay, the website has a user friendly interface. So this one you got 3.75 out of 5. What does it mean? Okay, how do you analyze it? So I need to know that. This is an example of how I write it. Using the Likert scale, the survey questions will indicate what? The perceptions of target markets towards buying and having products like zero waste pet food. The findings from the survey will be analyzed in terms of overall means to indicate positive or less positive perception. I don't need your findings yet. Future, yes. Now, not yet. Okay? I need to know how you want to analyze your finding. Something like this. Very general. All right? Now, I want to move forward into creating the interview or survey questions. Now, I put this specially interview or survey questions because I feel that is the most feasible, that is the best way to get the data within the time limit that we have now. For online survey questions, I need you guys to do three different parts. Three different parts. First one is demographic. In demographic, as I mentioned, it depends on you. What are the things associated with demographic that you feel is important for you to know? Again, do you really need to know the name of your customers or your target market? I don't think so. But if you feel like you need it, justify. Second, age group. Is age group important? Maybe you want to ask gender. Maybe you want to ask maybe nationality, ethnicity, anything. Okay. Second part should be general questions regarding your topic. Something that is very general, not very specific into your challenge or your solution yet. Nothing specific, something very general. Okay. Like, for example, do you own a pet? How many pets do you have at home? Blah, blah, blah. Something very general. You don't touch anything about your solutions yet. So here, my solution is this pet food. Before I jump into the specific questions, I ask my consumers, how many pets do you have? How much money do you spend 1 week or 1 month in buying pet food? Do you have any preference, wet food or dry food? Blah, 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 blah. What is your concern for your pet? Is it getting enough nutrients? Blah, 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 blah. Do you consider yourself as an environmentalist? Do you like to help the environment? Blah, blah, blah. Something very general. I will not introduce yet my solution. Okay? So in part 3, something very specific into what you want to provide solution to. So for this challenge, I want to create or I want to distribute, I want to start manufacturing zero waste pet food based on leftover food from certain restaurants around Nilai. Okay, so my questions that I can ask my maybe target markets, people who will be answering this question, can be like if we were to introduce a zero waste pet food, you put in bracket what does it mean by the zero waste pet food? Would you be interested? Second, how much money would you spend on 100 gram of the other pet food? Third, so you think about what could be some of the ideas very specific into your solution. What is it that you want to ask your customers? You can ask about money, you can ask about, what do they want, what flavor, maybe, I don't know. Okay, you think about it. All right. Any questions about your interview or survey questions? So when you ask questions, you can ask in a form of a Likert scale, or if you want to ask in a form yes, no, or you want to look into, frequency, how many people agree, how many people disagree, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Any questions about your survey or your questionnaire? Any questions? Yes? Tan, you want to ask question?
Hi, Miss.
Hello.
Hello, Miss. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that the survey question do we have to really design a survey question? No, right?
Yes.
Like this, we have to
Yes, but not this week.
this week. But how
For
do we
your report,
submit? Okay, so the research report does not need to come with a survey questionnaire set first. It it's only the design discovery canvas, is it?
So for your report, you have to create and write to me the questions, but you don't have to
Oh,
present to
okay.
me the findings. No findings, just the question.
Then the findings will be when? Later on.
Yes. So the findings will be very, very crucial when you want to pitch your idea. So before the end of the semester, hopefully in the middle, maybe in week 4, week 5, you should get your findings
Okay.
already. Okay. So this week,
Uh,
your interview questions so that you
because
can
in
start
the
sending.
okay. Yeah, because in the research report, the briefing, right, the question, because it says that design a survey and then
50.
break down
I
the
change
findings.
it.
So we thought we have to. Oh, so that the one you
I
change it
change it.
is the revised one.
Yes, I change
Okay,
it because
okay,
I don't think you guys are ready.
okay. So
That's why I
this
don't.
will be this template will be in a research report as well as in group wiki. Is it
Same,
like
yes.
now?
It's the
Okay, so I
same
just
thing.
insert whatever is complete. Then I just insert on both sides.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. All right. Now let's move into. Okay, we're done with this. Let's go into now secondary research. Secondary research has the most marks. Okay. So initially, you guys have to give a lot in a way that you have to present the findings for your interview and survey questions. But I don't think it's fair for you guys because to get 50 respondents is really a lot, and I don't want you guys to stress on that. Therefore, I will ask you guys to complete your 50 respondents before maybe week 4 or week 5. I haven't decided yet. I will give you a more detailed instructions later. But for your report, you do not have to give me your findings. Okay? Yes, 50, 50. You still have to give or you still have to prepare your survey, but you don't have to give me the findings. It depends on your method. If you want to send a survey question, which I think is the easiest one, online survey, you need to get at least 50 people. Right? All right. Okay. Okay. Now I want to focus on the secondary research because it has a lot of marks. Okay. Now your friend just now Fong Meng asked questions. Sorry. All right. Yes, yes. So I think interview it could be impossible, could be possible as well if you think that your target market could be your brother or could be your mother. You think that they can answer the questions on behalf of you, or if you can have like an online Skype. I don't know. Think about it creatively. If you the minimum is 50 online survey. If you want to get more marks, if you want to do more, it depends on you. Okay. Okay, now, just now, one of your friends asked me or asked us uh, on the structure of the report itself, right? So, number one, okay, it all depends in this secondary research. So, when it comes to this, I do not want you to just write the point form, okay? Some of you have given me a draft and I see you just copy paste. I do not want that. Okay, basically what you're doing to me is that you ask me to click on your link and you ask me to read myself. I don't want that. You need to summarize your finding from each source, combine the information from your secondary research. For example, you have 3 articles. You should do more actually. Okay, for example, there are 3 different articles that you want to compare findings. Article A and B, similar findings. They say that you can use leftover fish to make pet food. But Article C said no, not good. Certain fish only. So I need to segregate those information, combine those information and put it. Okay, now I have done it for you guys. Example. You're welcome. Okay. Now, you gotta remember, I'm also an English teacher. So I'm very, very particular when it comes to language. You might think that I'm doing this very hard on you guys, but please remember, this is also a communication skills. So regardless if this is just a design thinking course, but without a good communication skill, you will not get your message across. Okay, so I have given you an example here. Okay, for example, in this section, a thorough discussion on previous studies linked to what my topic, pet food, will be discussed in terms of one, perception, two, market, three, sources of food. Now, what I'm giving you is an example of organization as well. So if you think that you can be creative and do it differently, please go ahead and do it. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. But do not write article A. You give link, you ask me to read myself. Please do not do that. I will definitely deduct your marks because you are giving me extra work. You're asking me to read myself instead of you summarize it for me. Got it? Okay, now one more tips is that, for example, in this perception, I found a journal article, and in this journal, there is a graph or chart. Put it here, put it in here. So it's very a lot. It's looking like a report now. Okay, so you wanna put here, you wanna put like a chart, for example. Please put it. Okay, if you put it now, it's becoming like a chart. Now it's getting better. Okay, now I can see, okay, this finding found this, but another source found this, blah 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 blah. Now, one more thing that I want to emphasize is about trying to cite where you get the source from. I will not be very particular in a way that I want you guys to do APA style or Chicago style or Harvard style. I will not do that to you guys. All I ask you to just give me, where did you get it? For example, you got it from like maybe the Star newspaper. Which year is it written? Okay. So after that, please put the references. Okay. Where is it from? The source. Which year is it written from? Where can I get the link? Okay, again, do not copy paste. I'm an English teacher. I would definitely know if you copy and paste. Okay, now let's move forward into current solutions. Now, some of you guys have given me your draft, and some of you guys do not know, which I don't blame you, because now only I'm teaching you. Okay, current solution is very, very easy. What it means is that what has been done right now before your solution, not your solution, what has been done right now in your topic or in your area. Okay, for my research here, for my topic here, I'm talking about zero waste pet food. So there are two things here that I can talk about. Number one, I can talk about the current solutions that are available right now on pet food. Number two, the current solutions that we have right now when it comes to waste food or leftover food from restaurant. Okay, now this one, you cannot just simply write anything. You assume this happened. Cannot. Okay, so you have to base on your secondary research, which is why your secondary research has the most marks. Got it? Okay, this is just an example. Currently, most cat food are manufactured from XXX using XXX ingredients. Source, which year? Second, waste food. Typically in a restaurant, over how many kilos leftover food is being disposed every single day. So even though that your father owns a hotel or your father owns a restaurant, you still need to go and find a source that mention about this. You cannot assume this is the case. Okay, right? So blah blah blah. That is current solutions. Now jump into gaps. Current solution and gaps are interrelated. For gaps, to answer the gaps, you have to be based on your current solutions. So based on your current solution, what are the things that you can improve? What are the disadvantages that you can see in each current solution that you list out? Okay, you can write more. The more that you write, the more that I feel that you understand your design challenge. More marks you can get. More detail, more thorough. Got it? Example here, pet food, which is derived from the current solution. So I found two disadvantages or two gaps. One, 1 kilo of pet food using XX ingredient costs around how many ringgit? Therefore, it's quite expensive. Okay. Two. So in the pet food nowadays, there are too many preservatives, too many additional flavors that can cause allergies or hair loss to the pets. Therefore, it's dangerous for the pets. Got it? Okay, you can write more if you want to. As I mentioned, if you write more, it will indicate that you guys are, reading a lot. You guys know more about your challenge. Therefore, you deserve more marks. Second gap, which is based on the current solution, waste food. So the first gap would be contributing to the rising waste in Malaysia. Rubbish waste in Malaysia, all those waste. Second, increase in pollution as it is not properly disposed. So as I mentioned, you can write more. Obviously, in waste food, there are more gaps that you can write. So remember, when it comes to gap, it all depends on the solutions, the current solutions that you write. Current solution here does not mean your solution. What has been done right now before your own solution. Okay? All right, that is it for your discovery canvas. Discovery canvas is the same thing that should be written and should be submitted to me next Tuesday. Okay? All right. So now I want to remind you guys on page 3, which is group wiki. So in your page 3 group wiki, you have to do 3 things. Number 1, you have to do problem statement. Okay, number 2, so this one you can do it later because you haven't found the findings yet. Number 2, how might we ask question, how HMYW questions that would help you to brainstorm ideas for your solution. Number 3 is brainstorming, which is based on the videos in week 3's folder. Okay, I want to teach you very, very easily, very, very straightforward on writing your problem statement or need statement. You need to know 3 things: users, needs, and your insights. It's very straightforward, very easy. Okay, example here. Who are the users, which is your target market? Second, what their needs are. Third, what can you found from the findings that you get? As I mentioned, in order for you to do your need statement, you need to get the findings from your survey first, which you haven't gotten yet. Okay, so if you can do, or you can do this problem statement once you found or once you got your findings. Okay, this is just an example. We might need to teach you again this one once you got your findings. Here, teenagers, which are the target users, need to eat nutritious food, what their needs are, because it is found that 70% of NT students are becoming aware of their eating habits. This is just an example. Okay, it can be very general, it can be something to indicate the whole findings or the whole design challenge that you're saying. Okay, there are 3 things, the key things that you have to write in your problem statement. First, who are your user? Second, what do they need, their needs, and third, what do you found? So what's the correlation between them and what they need and what you found from your survey? Okay, I might need to go back to this later. All right, so in your report, these are some tips. Number one, please avoid using assumptions. Even though that it might be true, it might be correct, but you still need to go back to your secondary research and give me exactly where did you get the source from. Okay, it's very, very important. Second, stress on the problem needs or statement. Why? Because it will increase on the significance of your invention or your solution. It's also a way of telling you why this is very, very needed and how it can impact on human development. Okay? All right. So for your Blackboard task, in this week, you have to do individual, your quiz 4, 5%, your group wiki, page 3, and also start doing your research report submission. If you guys want to give me your draft for your interview or survey questions, you can do so. Give to me before Monday, 12 p.m. Okay, if I put it Monday 11:59, it will be too late for you guys to, make changes. Please be aware that weekend is my day off. I will not answer your questions on a weekend. Okay, start doing it now. Please make sure that you divide your work properly. Two people doing your survey, another people doing this, so that it's easier for you guys to execute your plan. Okay, all right. Hey, I have another class. Yes, yes, please. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm taking your time. Okay? Any more questions? I'm so sorry, I'm taking your time. Sorry. Any more questions? So if you guys want to send in your survey questions, okay, you can do so. Send it to me before Monday, 12 p.m. because I think you guys need some time to make changes as well. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I will be sending this recording and also everything that I used today on Blackboard. Okay, thank you so much for joining, guys. Bye bye.
See you, Miss.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.